defending. So anyways, went off on a tangent there. Manifestation. There's two different ways that I do this. I also use this for all my tarot readings that I do for myself, not for other people. This is all personal. So, the first way that I do this is the way that looks like this. It's pretty. It's nice. It's visually aesthetic, right? And the other way that I do it, you're really gonna watch on mute now, Diesel. You won't even be heard. The other way that I do it is the way that my little Virgo brain likes. It's a list and it's very well balanced. So, I'm gonna show you the first way because that's the way that my teacher showed me. And I'm gonna turn on the AC first because it's fucking hot. Pardon my language. There we go. So the first way, Marcus, you can send me a DM, and we can set up an actual reading that way. I got two different options, two different tiers. One that's just astrology, one that's astrology, one that's just astrology, one that is just tarot, 45 minutes, real quick read, or one that's like a full in-depth hour and a half, 90-minute, let's talk it out, and I'm going to give you some empowerment coaching too. But that's all scheduled through Calendly. So back to the point. So manifestation. There's a few questions that we are going to answer with your manifestation. So I want you to write these down. The first question, most important question, is what is your vision? What is the climate that you are wanting to create out of what you have now? Because the new moon is the time that we look into possibility of what is to come. The full moon, everything is illuminated. All of your tools have been presented. Everything has come out of the shadow. And so now, for the next month, what are you gonna do with all of those gifts? So I like to write down, because when I think of a climate, I think of the way that something feels. Temperature, texture, conversations, relationships, things like that. That's what a climate, that's what an ambience, that's what an environment is, right? So I like to write down words that I want to feel and understand and enjoy and that I want to share with other people that are uplifting types of things, such as nourishing, joyful, confident, generous, peaceful. What other words? I've got lots of them. Hopeful, grounded, disciplined, grateful, refreshed, replenished, blissful. And then I write, with this vision, when you're writing down what your vision is, I like to put a little emoji because it makes it look nice to me, visually stimulating. I create an environment that, and then you write a word with at least 3 of these descriptors of a positive climate. Oh my God, my OCD is driving nuts. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize my bed wasn't made. Okay, so first question that you're gonna answer, what is my vision for this next month? Out of everything that I have already. We're not trying to create something that we don't have. It's like, what feelings Can you already grasp from the last 6 months, since March 21st or April 20th, you can go back and you can look at text messages, you can look at journal entries, you can look at content that you've created or content that you've actually consumed for the last 6 months. All of that has become the manifestation that you are experiencing now, and it's like, what am I going to do with that manifestation? This is everything that is actualized based off the intentions that I set back in March and in April. So what am I going to do? Oh, Kelly, that is amazing. I'm going to screenshot that. That's the point, right? What am I going to do with all of these gifts? All of your gifts are there. Either you wrote them in a journal, you made content about it, you consumed content about it, you wrote text messages about it, you had conversations about it, you have evidence of it all around you. Even if you don't have the vision to be able to see it here, do you know where you do have it? In these wonderful computers that we spend thousands and thousands of, that was gross, thousands and thousands of dollars on, that log every single movement, every single message, every single communication. Just like TikTok and Instagram creates an algorithm based off of everything that you consume and everything that you create and everything you engage with, your life is doing the same thing. And now, rather than fighting the fact that these little machines track every single movement, use it. Stop fighting the machine. Use it to your advantage. And look back at how much over the last 6 months your engagement changed from one type of genre to another. How much your created content changed from one genre to another. Use it to your advantage. You're stuck in this game. You can keep on trying to escape the matrix, or you can understand that you are an active, contributing creator of this matrix, and use it to your advantage. And use it for the advantage of other people. Because where are we going to go after we escape? Into another one, into another one, into another one, right? Learn to play the game by using the game. Like, we've been given the cheat code. All of this social media shit, this is the cheat code to how you can manifest and manipulate your life to be exactly what you want it to be. How you can seduce, how you can attract the life that you want. But you got to start with from where you're at. So look at what you have. Exactly, Kelly. And write down, my vision is what, use the words, I create. I create, especially with this Aries full moon. Aries is like, have you ever met an Aries? They are bossy as shit. And they have no problem telling you exactly, I'm dating an Aries, so, and him and I have had this conversation for a Virgo, it can be very challenging. But they have no problem saying, do this, do that. This is what I want. Aries make exceptional bosses. They can be good employees if they have the vision for becoming a boss. Wonderful entrepreneurs, some of the best entrepreneurs I've ever met, Aries. Extremely creative, Aries. So use this Aries full moon energy that's coming up on Friday morning at 5:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to your advantage. Out of everything that you have harvested, this is also a harvest full moon. We just had the autumn equinox. Everything that all the seeds that you've been planting for the last 6 months, look it up. Look up everything that you've done on social media. Look up everything you've written down. If you haven't done much of that, if you're just brand new here, sit down and write down everything that you can remember from the last 6 months. Or you can participate in one of my hypnosis programs, and I will show you how to do it there, or the journaling programs. We can do it there too. There we go. There's the plug into my business, and that's all I'm going to do. So there's the first question that we answer in the vision, right? And then next to that, that's when I put the date. So this was on September 11th that I did this last one. There's more, but that one. I'm not going to show you the other ones. And then you write down at least 3 things that you'd like to manifest out of that vision. 3 things, right? Awesome, Kelly. I love the pivot. I love the pivot. 3 things. So it can be materialistic, and honestly, like that's what I want to do in my following videos, is go through all the different signs and be like, hey, this is what you need to be manifesting with this Aries new moon or Aries full moon. Like Virgos, our manifestations are going to be our work community, a community that supports us and sustains us in our jobs. That's honestly what's the best for the Virgo right now. Use all of that retrograde energy that we had built up during that super heavy retrograde season. That's what Virgos going to do to Virgos and Geminis, to see like how Geminis, it's more on the social standpoint of it. Virgos, it's about how to use social status to be able to have the impact in our career that we want to have. That's amazing. Amazing. And you spelled my name right. Correct. Thank you very much. You can write down manifestations such as what kind of partner you want to have. Libras, Aries, this is for you. Your Libras and your Aries, what kind of partner? Aries, it's going to be more about what your business partnership wants to look like. You don't necessarily have to have an equal partnership with them, but someone maybe you want to collaborate with, or maybe there's someone that works for you, Aries. And Libra, it's like, okay, Libras, we are like the Libra signs, they're ruled by Venus. It is all about the idealism. So write down the idealistic features of your partner, but remember, take it from your vision. What is it that you are creating, and make sure it's in alignment with that. There you go. And there you go, 3 things there. Now, as you're writing down those 3 manifestations, write it in present tense. I earn. If this is the materialistic, how much you want to earn, right? What did I write in the relationship? I am in a relationship with someone who, right? If you're someone like Virgos, we're all like, I serve my community by doing this. Let's see, Aries, I collaborate with, etc., etc., etc. Got it? Thank you. Now is good, and so it is good in this moment of space and time. Now, question number 3 that we're answering in our manifestation practice. Remember, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're answering 8 questions. Question number 3, you're going to write at least 3 different ways of feeling. And so this is where you can either do it like I did, where I have 2 columns and then the feelings are right next to the manifestations, or do it the way that my teacher prefers to do, where you've got manifestations, feelings, and then he writes little arrows within a circle, right? Split it down the middle, like that. There's another practice that I do that is in my course that we use 3 different, we do a whole vesica of 3. And it's very exciting. We start with the 2 and then we add a 3rd one. But feelings, and you're gonna come from your vision and your manifestations, and you know what else you're gonna get out of that? You're gonna create more feelings, because what you're doing, as you wrote down what your vision is, I create this, and as you wrote down all of your manifestations, because they are actively happening, space and time is a fucking construct. Right now is the only moment. That's why I say, now is good, but, and so it is. Actively make it happen. In this moment, it's the space-time continuum, because it's a web, right? It's this 5-dimensional web of things that we put our focus on. It's not linear. That's why now still has an implication of something that's like a little bit linear, like a start and an end. So you're gonna write down how you felt when you wrote those things. How did you feel when you write those things down? I feel empowered and confident when, and you write down that manifestation again. Keep on writing it. And you might find yourself, like I ended up writing, what my manifestation is, and then the results that end up coming from it, right? So those are the three for your vision, which is the climate that you are going to be creating around yourself for your manifestations. What it is that you're actually going to manifest, at least 3 to 5 things. Your feeling, how it feels to know that that is actively a part of this timeline, and so it is. And then question number 4. Ways of being that you can start today. What are ways of being? Ways of being are things that are depicted in our character and our behavior. For example, you can be grateful for the process of doing all of this work. You can be disciplined into the process that is required for this work. You can be surrendered into the ebb and flow, the push and pull, and the contrast that is going to come up with these manifestations, because manifestation isn't all rainbows and butterflies and light. There needs to be contrast, just like when, you know, when you go to, what is that called? A flintstone. With a flint, not the cartoon. With a flint and a stone, there needs to be some contrast, right? There needs to be a little bit of friction there. So a little bit of that friction is, there's gonna be moments of your life that kind of suck, and we gotta trust and surrender into those moments to know, like, nah, this is where spirit has the opportunity to really come through. You can say spirit with a capital S, you can say your spirit with a capital S. Your inspiration, to be inspired, is going to come out of those moments that are difficult, and to surrender into that. So ways of being, 3 to 5 of those ways of being that you can start today. That you can, and that you believe you can start today. It's easy to say, I surrender but if you're in a place of feeling a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety, you may not be in a place of being able to surrender. So maybe you can just surrender into the anxiety. Or maybe you can just say, ways of being is acceptance. Or, you know, there's a bunch of stuff on my Instagram that goes through how we can cope with these things. Communicative, right? Communicative, ways that you can be if you're going through a lot of anxiety over loss and frustration and fear. Communicative, that's a way of being. So you can communicate that with someone. You can reach out. If your family won't listen to you, there's lots of hotlines that are free. There's lots of Facebook groups. I have people constantly dropping into my lives. They're saying, no one's paying attention to me in their other lives. Now stop everything that I'm doing. Take care of them, send them over my DMs, and then they've just reached out to someone that cares. So being communicative during those times that are difficult, that's a way of being. Being vulnerable, being open. So many different ways of being. How we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves, how we are ready and willing to change a little bit of our normal everyday to day structure and being in order to support your manifestation, your feelings, and ultimately your vision. 5th question. 5th question is always the tricky one, especially for those of us that are trying to manifest things with our career. Action steps that you can take in the next 4 days. Action steps that you can take within the next 4 days. Let's make it a week. Within the next week, to just move, what's that called? Move the needle just a little bit. Because yes, there's a lot of surrender and waiting to attract, but if you are not, you can sit there and wait for butterflies to come your way, but if you have not built a garden, or at least have a jar of honey, or at least have a flower or something, if you haven't done any of that in order to attract those butterflies, I'm sorry, honey, they're not coming to your sweaty ass sitting on a couch watching TV being a potato sack. They're not doing it. It's not going to happen. So what are the action steps that you can come take today? Some of us, especially a lot of people that are here on TikTok, there's a lot of struggles with mental health. There's a lot of struggles with all these different acronyms: ADHD, ADHD, autism, BPD, clinical depression, dissociative disorder, all kinds of things. So sometimes just the one step, the inspired action step that you can take today is literally just getting off the couch and going for a walk. Maybe it's taking a shower. Maybe it's making your first video. It doesn't have to be a talking head video like the ones that you see so many of the creators do. It can literally be a video of text. One of my quickest growing accounts, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, was I would take black and white photos that I took from like a photo stock place, and then I would write something about a particular niche over the stock photo, put whatever trending song was, and guess what? Within less than a month, I had 5,000 followers on that account. And I had other people recommending, they're like, hey, you would really like this account. You should read this. I'm just laughing to myself. I'm like, that's me. That's me. No one knew it was me. I was completely anonymous on it. So if that's who you are and you just want something to be able to express yourself, action steps. Other action steps, if for in the workplace, do just like make that step, make that phone call, write that email. Stand up for yourself, make boundaries. What are the action steps that you can take, the little ones that are just gonna move the needle just a little bit? What is the thing that decision that you can make today that's gonna allow the next chapter to start? It's not gonna tell the rest of the story, but it's gonna start it. Choose your own adventure. Eventually you're gonna have to choose. Why not today? Make it today. Those are your action steps. And you get to create those. That's the best part about this choose your own adventure thing. It's not just like, oh, here's the path in front of you. No, and I actually spent quite a bit of time in Colombia, and over my 30th birthday, which was a long time ago, 30th birthday, I decided I was gonna go into the Amazons, and I was gonna find a tribe, and I was going to have 3 ayahuasca ceremonies in a row, and I did. Because I was looking for a new direction. I wanted to start all these programs. I wanted to start my retreats. All I wanted to do was take everything I had learned, all of the trauma, all of the pain, integrate it and say, how do I help people with this? And I had all of these, what if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do this? And the best, most powerful vision I had was of a crystal ball, and it was empty. It was completely empty. And the message from that was, you get to create that. You get to create your action steps. You literally get to write that story. There is no right and wrong. You know that story from that poem by Rumi? What is it? Somewhere there is a field, what is it? Where there's no knowledge of right and wrong. Meet me there. That's it. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You get to create it. There is always consequences. Don't get me wrong, there's consequences, but that's why we're doing it. We're like, we want our vision to be the consequence. We want our manifestation to be the consequence. We want our feelings to be the consequence. This is what we want to feel. This is the way we want to be. So these are the action steps. And because I am writing it as so, doing this will get me there. And I get to write it. I get to write it. Aries full moon energy is all about that. I get to delegate and mandate the way that my life is gonna go. Next. So what do we get to write down next? This is where if we were in my actual manifestation workshop that I do in my program, we get to use like the Vesca Vortex and see like how all of this is actually connected. We're not doing that here. We're doing it more a list format. Now we get to write down 3 things that we're grateful for. So what I like to do with this gratitude thing is, sure, it's really easy to think about 3 things that we're grateful for. You know, I'm grateful for having a roof over my head, but some of this is gonna be a little complacent. So what I'd rather do, especially when I'm doing something like this, I'm gonna look back at my last 6 months, even if it takes me all day of scanning through every single different video that I've created, every single different conversation that I had online, every single journal entry, until I find that one moment, that one thing that goes like, this is that gratitude that like gives me life. That's the kind of energy we're looking for when we write down the 3 things, because that shows us that we already have the climate. It's already there. The soil is fertile. This is harvest season. You've already planted the seeds. It's time to sow them. So you're going to write down those 3 things to be grateful for. What are the fruit of the seeds you've planted in the last 6 months that it is time to reap the benefits and feel it in your soul? It might just be a memory. It doesn't have to be in the last, I prefer to do the last 6 months just because we are doing this Aries full moon thing, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. It could be something that it was experienced 3 years ago, 30 years ago, that you're still so eternally grateful for. And you can tap into that feeling and you're going to write it down. I am so grateful for. Three things. No, you know what? Make it easier. 2 things. Just 2. I like to do 3, but 2 things. And then the next question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th question that we're going to answer on our manifestation practice. You know, we're using the garden analogy. Sometimes we got to let certain things go as well. Sometimes we've got to uproot certain ways of being, certain ways of thinking, certain ways of interacting, certain relationships. What are 2 things that you are going to let go of? That you know, like they already came to your mind already. These 2 things already came to your mind. 2 things that you need to let go of. That if I told you, how much longer do you want to risk not having your dreams come true? How much longer can you sustain a life? Because while you're still holding on to just these 2 things, you can ensure that they are holding you back from living the life that you want to live. From manifesting more of this gratitude. From allowing you to take more than just 3 action steps a day of moving the needle 3 tiny little degrees that are holding you back from truly being able to embody these ways of being that are going to contribute to the feeling that's going to give spark. And remember, we were making cacao earlier and I was saying with the cacao, yeah, it's releasing serotonin, it opens up your heart. But do you know what your heart is? Your heart is what allows you to feel everything. It's not just allowing you to feel your feelings. Your heart is what allows you to feel everything, because it's in the very center of the vagus nerve, which is connected to the entire body. And so all of your neural synaptic clusters started here. Why do you think there's a heartbeat law on women's bodies? Because the neural synapses started here. Do I believe it's a heartbeat? No, but that's not neither here nor there. It's not for this question. The idea is, though, creation starts here. Creation starts with this pulse. And so feeling is what leads to the creation of your manifestations, which lead to more of the feeling, because it's this endless cycle of going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Vision. And what sign has more heart than the warrior sign of the Aries? They're the most passionate sign. They are the baby of the zodiac, they say. It's like the child, the immature. But there's a side of immaturity, of naivety, that is so precious. And we get to embrace that this week with the Aries full moon, because they are so excited about everything that they're creating. That's why they come across as so fucking bossy. That's why that energy is so direct and abrasive and harsh, is because they are just so excited. And there's still these little children that are trapped in these adult bodies, and they're supposed to do things this way and that way and express these big emotions. And it's like they're just inspired. So where are you going to take that inspiration? And what are you going to let go of so that you can continue that, so you can carry that energy into this next month? So we've answered 7 really important questions. You can do just that. That's enough. That is enough. That's an incredible amount. Or you can answer 1 more question. And this isn't a question. You can make a declaration. And this is very Aries energy. This is where you get to boss around your life. You need to make a declaration of what is going to be the result of this. So in my business coaching side, the declaration that I'll hear from clients is, I have booked 3 private high ticket clients and I'm making $15,000 this month, right? Or it can be, I have purchased my first house and I'm signing off and everything's at escrow by the end of the month, things like that. It doesn't have to be that big. Your declaration. There's no dream too big, there's no detail too small. There's also no dream too small, and there's no detail too big. But you're gonna write this declaration down. And you're gonna write the word I am in front of it, or I serve. I am or I serve. I am is that root energy, and that's super powerful for this time. That is like the embodiment of the warrior that is Aries. I am this, and there's nothing that can stop me. Or I serve this. I believe I have my client call. I'm 5 minutes late for it, but there we go. So thank God TikTok records all of this, because I am definitely going to be putting this up on my YouTube. So I think it's super important. So please go ahead and follow me here. Amazing. Follow me here. Follow me over on the gram. Stay tuned. Next week, we're starting the Cultivating the Climate for Change manifestation process, right? And that's going to be a 5-day challenge of meditation, journaling, leading into 8 weeks of my empowerment training to get you shifted and ready, because we got eclipse season starting. Eclipse season starts the day that I start my program. It's going to be magical. Eclipses are amazing. All right. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all your gifts. Thank you for all your likes. And thank you for your attention, allowing me to be an influential part of your day. Move forth. Be inspired. Love you.